Anime, aka Miss Devious, and I wanted to do a reaction on Jack Harlow because he is currently my favorite artist, along with Joyner Lucas, for two different reasons. I feel like they're totally opposite, sort of. But for me, Joyner Lucas's core substance is what makes me love him so much. Jack Harlow, I haven't seen a complete package like Jack Harlow since Drake. And I said this to another person in the industry, another music person in the industry. I was like, mark my words, I think Jack Harlow is going to be the next big thing to go. And that was like 2 years ago. His look has grown. He's more of like, he used to be on this geek swag thing, which was really cute too. It was trending. It was really hot, but he's kind of got a little grown, sexy swag touch to it now. He's developing his own style and fashion. Love that. His cadence, his delivery, it appears to be super effortless. His melodies are good. His approach, his delivery, everything. Just Jack Harlow is kind of a complete package for me as far as an artist goes. You can be the best rapper alive, but if you don't have these other components and these other elements that make you a full package, you're not a star. You know, like this, Jack Harlow was like a star. I haven't had a favorite artist since Tupac, and he held that title for my entire life until now. It's the before they were famous, Jack Harlow, Kentucky's golden rap boy. Kentucky's rap golden boy. Kentucky's rap golden boy. I'm gonna get into it because I really don't know much about him.
Working on my next track, so don't get mad if you try to text Jack.
Over the past couple years, very few musicians have made the type of impact that Jack Harlow has. This Kentucky native, known for his inoffensive style and easygoing bars,
See, I just said that.
landed a spot on the Billboard Hot 100 while being little more than internet famous at the time. Over the past couple years, there have been plenty of young people who have accomplished their 15 minutes of fame thanks to social media, only to then fall off the charts. But
Right.
That's most definitely not the case with Jack. His raw talent and ever-increasing acclaim would lead to a record deal with Atlantic Records and the subsequent release of projects like That's What They All Say, as well as his most recent album, Come Home, The Kids Miss You. And sure, acceptance might seem like it comes easy to Jack, but in point of fact, he had to overcome a lot of bullying thanks to an eye condition that he suffered from as a kid. Know how this led to Jack expressing himself musically for one of the first times in his life?
But he does reference that. So I feel like he has a cadence and kind of an approach like Drake. But much like Slim Shady, he already outed his faults or flaws. Like he, in one of his earlier songs, raps, I used to wear a patch like a pirate. My little sister had the same eye thing, you know? So it's like, for you to go ahead and attack your own self, like it leaves very little for the haters, you know?
As a kid. Know how this led to Jack expressing himself musically for one of the first times in his life? Then fill us in down below. Everybody else, stay tuned to find out that and a whole bunch more on our newest episode of Before They Were Famous.
Jack, to be precise.
Jack Harlow was born March 13th, 1998 in the city of Shelbyville, Kentucky. That's where he grew up on a horse farm where his parents, Maggie and Brian, both of whom ran a successful business known as Signorama.
In 2009, my husband Brian and I decided we were going to invite the CEO of Signorama franchise to come to Louisville for the Kentucky Derby.
When he was no older than a child, his parents moved from Shelbyville to Louisville, settling in an area of town known as the Highlands, a neighborhood that Jack remembers as being safe, accepting, and diverse. Usually don't hear those three things in a sentence, but hey, glad he had a good upbringing.
Louisville is like an island in the sea of something totally different.
He does say that too in his raps. He like admits that he had a decent upbringing and really didn't have a whole lot of problems growing up. So if anybody wanted to dig that up about him to use it against him, like what? You can't. I already said that. I'm just a good rapper, bro.
It's like an island in the sea of something totally different.
At this still early stage of life, Jack's only real hardship was the fact that he was born with a lazy eye. As a kid, Jack spent a ton of time with an eye patch covering his right eye to challenge his weaker left eye into growing stronger.
See?
You never know where people come from, kids. And if you're thinking there's no way that could have been easy for a kid to deal with, well, you're right. Kids at school would definitely make fun of him for it, but here's the thing, Jack is so damn likable that even back then he was turning his enemies into friends.
Brian and I were still getting dressed, so he found my son Jack, who at the time was 10, and he said, "Jack, "Where's your mom's iron?" And he said, "She doesn't have one." And the CEO was a little taken aback, and he said, "Well then, what does she do?" And my son said, "She works at Sinorama."
How did he do it? Pretty simple. Whenever other kids would start picking on his eye and calling him nerdy, Jack would then break out into his own rendition of Weird Al Yankovic's White and Nerdy. As soon as he'd do that, the taunts would turn into cheers. Kind of like a B-Rabbit thing of turning your weaknesses into strengths.
See, I just said that. I love this guy.
He learned from the right rappers. Unfortunately, Jack's eye never grew as strong as it should, and he would have to switch to corrective lenses later on in life to address these issues. His passion for music, on the other hand, would only continue to grow more and more. At the age of just 12, Jack began making music for the first time. That's right around the time in his life when his parents brought him home the video game Guitar Hero. Rather than play with it like any other normal kid would, Jack plugged the game's microphone into his laptop and ran a program known as Audacity to begin recording his earliest tracks. Then, alongside a buddy from school named Copeland, Jack recorded his very first CD titled Rippin' and Rappin', which he and his partner then took to selling a few dozen copies of at Highland Middle School.
That's about the age I was when I got in my first studio in Nisqually Reservation.
Now that he had discovered his passion, Jack turned to his mother and asked how he could become the best rapper in the entire world. Having just read the book Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell, Maggie told Jack that he would have to invest over 10,000 hours of practice into his craft if he really wanted to be serious.
There's that number, the 10,000 hours.
Jack that he would have to invest over 10,000 hours of practice into his craft if he really wanted to be serious about it. Imagine telling a 12-year-old kid that. Crazy, right? Well, it was so crazy that it just so happened to work. Later that year, Jack got his hands on a professional-grade microphone and began putting in endless hours, producing what would become his very first mixtape, a project known as Extra Credit under the moniker of Mr. Harlow. A SoundCloud account was next to follow, and that's where he was making something of a name for himself, and he joined up with a couple like-minded friends at school to form his own rap collective known as Private Garden. This local success would lead to meetings with management companies and record labels when he was still attending Atherton High School, but nothing would come to fruition, at least not yet. Then, during his senior year, Jack released his very first EP titled The Handsome Harlow. Soon afterwards, as his friends began packing up their bags to go to college, Jack began working at his parents' sign business during the day while dedicating his nights to making music. After about a year of that, he dropped his fully fleshed out mixtape titled 18, containing the breakout song Ice Cream. Having earned nearly 1 million plays for that track on Spotify alone, Jack got more serious than ever about joining the music industry. That's when he decided to leave his hometown of Louisville behind and head for Atlanta, Georgia. Hell-bent on elevating his career, Jack moved to the rap mecca of the world, Atlanta, Georgia. And sure, he may have been the white boy looking to make it in the world of hip-hop, but the color of his skin was not something he was looking to highlight or take advantage of in music. He told the New York Times, "I'm not preoccupied with my whiteness. I'm aware of it, but it's not something I'm battling against or lifting up.
Right.
I just let it be."
I
Once
love
in
it.
Atlanta, Jack recorded and released a new mixtape titled Gazebo, which was buoyed by its high-energy single Dark Night, a track whose music video would premiere on World Star Hip Hop's YouTube page.
Oh, he got the Coogee on.
Its high-energy single, Dark Night, a track whose music video would premiere on World Star Hip Hop's YouTube page and earn well over 1 million views.
Wow.
He then had the good fortune to meet with fellow Kentucky native Kai Engineering, with whom he quickly struck up a working relationship. Kai brought Jack out to meet DJ Drama, who immediately fell in love with Harlow and
Look, this is when his little look started to change. He got a little bit more refined and started developing his grown man swag. I love it.
working relationship. Kai brought Jack out to meet DJ Drama, who immediately fell in love with Harlow and signed him to his Atlantic Records subsidiary, Generation Now. Good move by DJ Drama too.
It was like, yo, you know, we're starting a label, you know, we're definitely looking for artists out there. And KY was like, I think I got something for you, you know, just give me a second.
Okay.
And when it all came together, and the same person that KY had been telling Lake about was the same person that my man Randy was putting me on to, being Jack Harlow.
Now with the backing of a major label, Loose became Harlow's next mixtape, followed about a year later by another tape called Confetti. But 2020 would become the biggest year of Jack's career. That's when he landed on the #2 spot on the Billboard Hot 100 with his hit single, What's Poppin', a catchy number that went viral thanks to, you guessed it, TikTok.
But in my opinion, it hasn't been ruined. TikTok took it up a notch. I'm definitely grateful for all them kids doing little videos to it. I don't even know if there's a dance. They just kind of bite their lips and list all their most attractive traits and then say what's poppin'.
In the wake of that success, Jack Harlow got caught up in a whirlwind of opportunities. over the past couple of years, he's not only starred in a Tommy Hilfiger campaign and a KFC commercial, he's also been cast in the upcoming remake of White Man Can't Jump, and has been featured on a remix of Eminem's track Killer.
I love him on that too.
Oh, and I mean, he's already been nominated for 3 Grammys. And did I mention that the dude is barely 24 years old? Pretty impressive stuff.
Baby.
Most recently, Jack has dropped his sophomore album, Come Home, The Kids Miss You, which found him embracing a more banger-heavy approach with guest spots from Pharrell, Justin Timberlake, Lil Wayne, and
The album is fire.
of course, Drake.
What are you gonna cut to?
It's Drake and Jack Harlow, y'all. We have to.
What are you gonna cut to? Like a shot of like poorly manicured grass or something.
You know what I'm gonna tell him? I'm gonna tell him, just hold on, we're going home. Okay. All right? Drake and Jack Harlow. Churchill Downs. That's it.
But as for the rest of Jack's story, well, you already know the answer. After all, this is before they're famous. Please remember to like and subscribe before you head out, and don't forget to ring that bell for notifications to ensure that you are notified whenever we drop some new content. My name is Clyde Smith, and I'll see you guys in another episode.
Thank you, Clyde. I love this. Okay, so I'm going to probably watch a whole bunch of these before they were famouses, because I do love music. I love artists of all kinds. I just wanted to get Jack Harlow and Joyner Lucas kind of out of the way first because they're the most important to me. I have the most recent track that I recorded in 2020 through the pandemic. It's on my Patreon page, which is now functioning and up and running. So I'll probably be getting back into the studio. I don't do music because I want to be a rapper or I want to be a singer. I just do it because I love music so much. It's probably the most epic force in my blood, in my heart, in my soul. So stay tuned and look forward to that. There will be more private details of mine on my other social media accounts and not the Rihanna Reacts account, just because I'm assuming that people watching the reactions just want to see the reactions and get out of here. So this was made for me by my lovely sibling who owns an online boutique called Phantasm Apparel, and it's Miss Devious Out. And it's corseted up the back. It's super, super cute. Has the details on the hoodie too. I'm so glad that you guys came by this time. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.
Shake the way you take me, baby.